had a long week. You don't have the energy for it. They're asking you, but it's not going to come around this event. It's only that day. So now, because your fear of missing out on the event, that it's not going to be there tomorrow, you put yourself aside.
No is a full, complete sentence. No need to. Welcome to the Alchemy of Success podcast.
Your podcast for career, personal, and consciousness expansion. My name is Pedro.
And I'm Anna. And today we're going to talk about the power of saying no and how we can overcome the FOMO effect, or the so-called fear of missing out effect. And the reason why we choose this topic is because we already kind of talk about no in some previous episodes, but like just as a small part. And we, Pedro and I found out that this topic really deserves a full episode on the one side, and especially connected to the fear of missing out emotion, like we say, that nowadays is created in our life. And the reason why we want to talk with you about this topic is because when we look around, and especially in our days, maybe you can check, how often do you feel energized during the day? How often do you feel like you have enough time? How often do you feel during the day or during the weeks or months that you're missing something? And all, if you go and check, oh yeah, I feel this emotion. Oh yeah, I feel this often, and I feel this often, then it's definitely this one episode that you'd like to watch, and you'd like to reflect on your daily base, because by understanding how powerful is of saying no, not only for you, but for everybody around you, not only powerful, but also helpful, you most probably will find more energy and more time and more inspiration during your day.
That's true. That's right. So, and then it expands even further. So she's basically also saying, or I'm taking it the way she's saying it is, how many things have you missed? Even if let's go to the fear of FOMO, but how many things have you actually missed because you didn't say no? That's what she's getting at. How many things could you have done that you really wanted to do, but because you didn't say no, you didn't have the chance to do that. So it goes back to the power of no and the fear of missing out, to what Anna's saying. So what is no, and how do you say no?
Or maybe do you like first to expand to the FOMO, because maybe not. I think it's a concept that is well known and yet maybe not so familiar with everybody. Mm-hmm. Just to expand, okay, what is FOMO and how is FOMO created?
Okay. So what is FOMO? FOMO to me, once again, is when there's an opportunity and you believe there's scarcity in your mind, meaning either there's not enough, or it's a time constraint that's only going to be there for a limited time. Or I could even say it from two different perspectives, which everybody knows is investing. It's very big in the stock world. If you're missing out, you're buying a stock, you're trying to get into the low stage. Oh, you got to get into it right now, or you're going to miss out on the ride or the wave. So people make irrational decisions because of that in the stock trade. Another version of it is, say someone's inviting you to go somewhere. Say it's an event. I'm just going to give it a very broad example. It's an event. Yes, the event does have a time limit. Obviously, an event doesn't happen every day, but you're really tired. You're exhausted. You've had a long week. You don't have the energy for it. They're asking you, but it's not going to come around, this event. It's only that day. So now, because your fear of missing out on the event, that it's not going to be there tomorrow, you put yourself aside, even though your body's telling you need to relax, You need to just take it easy, get yourself a beautiful take self-care day, but you kick that to the side and you go to the event because your fear of missing out on the event, like you're expecting some sort of fulfillment. In the stock world, it's fulfillment of riches, more money, okay, doing well financially. In the practical world, is missing out on an experience, an emotion, something that maybe you think you're going to share. So to me, FOMO is really that is just missing out at different levels, and it could be both personal and business, or obviously in finances as well. So that's what fear of missing out. How about you, Anna? Is that the same or a little different?
So, especially what you're saying about the events and co. Me being in Dubai, there is every single day multiply events that I can attend and I get invited to. And I remember first time when I came here, I tried to say yes to every event, and I was running from event and event because I had the fear of missing out, that maybe I'm going to miss some content piece that is important for my expansion, personal development, or I will miss some opportunity about connecting. As you know, one of my expertise is creating a wide network. So missing to meet the right person or missing the right opportunity or whatever, So I was running from event to event. And like you said, at the end, you're so exhausted. And that is something that is created on purpose. So FOMO is not something that is natural for us, but it's created on purpose because it says, oh, if you miss this event, or if you're not on this picture, or if you're not here in this social circle, then you miss this opportunity. Then you miss, this possibility to engage with these people and so on. Another FOMO next to the stock market, what you say is like a perfect, perfect example, because I had actually the last 2 days a very, very long conversation regarding trading and stock market with one hedge fund, expert. So, very, very interesting that you're currently sharing this, but it's also what I experience as FOMO is, oh, I am getting too old to hit the success that is expected to be at this age. Or maybe I'm missing to be on time, having a family, having a partner, having a child, or maybe a second child. Another is, fear of missing out if I don't buy this bag. I'm not fashion enough, or not it enough, or like you said, it will be more expensive and so on. So the whole society is actually built around FOMO. The way how nowadays sales are done in the most of the cases, I won't say everywhere, but in the most of the cases, it's really built on FOMO effect. If you don't do it now, the chance is gone. And my personal experience is completely different, but we can talk about that after we explain to you why no and FOMO so important is. And then I would like to share some experience that I had regarding this topic, because I was like, I'll say the biggest victim of FOMO. Really. Totally, I can really, when you show you my calendar, how it looked 2 years, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, people that knew me say, what are you doing? How do you manage to be everywhere and at every event and with, learning everything and so on, like crazy? Just because I had so deeply imprinted this FOMO within me.
And later, I definitely want you to dive a little more into that, Anna, and tell me exactly what did you learn from that? What did your body go through, and obviously your mind as well? What did you learn from that? So let's definitely circle back on that when we start talking about the solutions. So the FOMO that Anna's talking about, I'm going to also express it in what you see right now in all these even self-help programs. everything's limited time only offer. Everything is has to go now. You have to subscribe. And what do they do as soon as you click in these click funnels? If you guys have been doing this, you've probably noticed this. There's a clock, a countdown clock of when you have time to purchase. So they are fear-based marketing is really trying to get you to that state of fear or scarcity that you are going to miss out. So you always want to be part of a society, which I don't know if how many of you resonate with this, but it goes back to how we're actually built. Remember, we're mammals, we thrive in a social group. You don't want to be left out of the group. So it could go even further. It's like we are built this way. So they know exactly how to market it properly. So because of what I just go ahead, Anna, go ahead.
And it's important. We don't want to say that it's with a bad purpose. It's just how our psychology works. And, the intention behind from the person willing to sell you, for example, something with this time clock is just understanding how the human psychology works and having the intention knowing that with this offer, it will help you. And that's why I use this as a tool. And yet I have done a lot of experience also around purchasing different courses in 5-figure, up to 5-figure payment. So I can tell you a lot around the FOMO there.
And yeah, it's a strategy. It's a strategy because it works.
So I think now you have just a better idea and understanding, A, what is FOMO, and B, in which areas FOMO appears, and actually it's in every areas of our life. We create our own FOMO also. So that is the first part. So we'd like to tell you about the FOMO. And now Pedro will expand more on the power of no. And after that, we're going to connect both. So to understand how by taking the no, saying no, and understanding the FOMO, you actually alchemize your success in life. Because then you create the success you're willing and not society is willing for you.
That's right. So let's talk about the big bad power of no. So no is not bad. Yeah, so no, it's really an empowering tool. I will actually call it a tool. Because when you say no to things that maybe you don't want to do, someone's inviting you to go out even though you're really tired, or they're asking you to do something at work that's above and beyond your pay grade and it's adding just more and more hours. Okay. So when you say no, you're actually allowing yourself to actually get up, feel self-empowered to say that I take myself first. I think of myself first. And I know what my body's doing and how my mind is and what I want to do and what I want to achieve in my goals for myself, even if it's just for the goal for the day. Doesn't have to be a long-term goal. It could be just a daily goal. But you're allowing yourself to be really empowered, knowing that I know what I can and cannot handle. I know what makes me happy and not happy. And I know what the outcome is going to be. So by saying no, you're alchemizing that entire energy from the top, which is your mind. You're saying it, but also from the bottom. You're feeling, if you feel good saying no, and also your body acts properly because you're actually going to give it the rest if it's an issue with rest. So saying no has so many different benefits, but you also have to think about the other benefit to the individual, which a lot of people don't think about. Here's what I mean. Do you know when you say no to somebody that maybe is taking advantage of you? You go out and you're the one constantly paying over and over and over again. So try one time and say no to that person. You know what's going to happen? More than likely, their reaction is going to be, they're going to be shocked that you actually said no. You want them to pay, or you're going to split the bill at least. But number two, you're actually allowing them to pause. And we discussed this many times in many different episodes. You're actually allowing them to be conscious. Because if they've been in one state of mind, constantly receiving, taking, You're actually allowing them to just pause, reset themselves, and see a different part of themselves because nobody has actually said that or they don't say it enough. So you're taking them out of their automatic state of being and allowing them to self reflect by you saying no to them. So not only is a no empowering to you, but maybe, perhaps, it could also be empowering to the person that's receiving it. Now let's expand this to the work area. You get your boss keeps dumping stuff on you above and beyond your responsibility. Just keeps why? Because you're very good, you're very efficient. Fantastic. Pedro could handle more. Give him more. Just give him more. Yeah, give him another department to manage. Just keep giving him everything. Now, what happens if I don't say no? I get stressed out. Possibilities I get stressed out. I get burnt out. I no longer have time with my family, right? Because all those hours, extra hours go to work. So all these things, they're not that great. Okay. So what happens when I actually have the courage to say no? Number one, I'm telling my boss, hey, listen, let's level set here what actually you hired me to do. And am I doing a good job? Yes, I am. Fantastic. So when I level set with my boss, understanding what the responsibilities are, I'm also allowing to see my boss to see me differently. Why? If I have the power to stand up to him directly and telling him, listen, there's a line. I can only handle so much. And if we want to do more, then let's have a conversation. He's going to see me differently as a person of leadership. I'm not a follower anymore. I'm actually leading because I'm leading. I know myself enough and I'm going to lead him to the conversation and I'm going to lead him to the outcome of how it can work for both of us better going forward. But this current situation is not working for me and it's not going to work for the department because if you burn me out, guess what? Nothing's going to get done. So by you having the power to say no, to recognize your limits and to recognize what's really scarcity and what's not, you have the ability to go above your reactions, your emotions at the moment, and you're actually able to see things a little bit deeper level, where you're also able to help the other person reflect on whatever they're doing. So that's my idea of what the power of no is. It just gives you a better, I feel better after it. I'm happier at the end. And the other person can't take it. That's no longer my problem either. That's a person for them to accept and adapt. So that's my little perspective.
I can expand on this because at the beginning, when I start saying no, I didn't feel better. Why? As a kind of people pleaser. So I was like always helping each and everyone almost my whole life. Because I thought, okay, I have more energy, I have more capacity, so I can do it, so it's good. I'll do it. I wasn't aware of the so-called people pleaser, I just wanted to help people. And on the other side, I was afraid that if I say no, like you said, I'll be excluded, of the circle, out of the circle, or the people won't like me anymore. And what I ended up was that I ended up with so many problems to solve of other people, even beyond my own capacity actually for my own stuff. And that was one of the reasons why I back there also created the Power Woman community, is because I had the feeling, especially when you are seen as a strong woman, it is very difficult to say no because it's a strong woman, you have the capacity and energy and you help your environment. And the moment you suddenly want to say no, they're like shocked. Exactly, like because you keep on helping and suddenly you say no. And I felt kind of bad because what happens in this moment, and that is similar to setting boundaries. We had this in another episode where we were talking about the power of the boundaries, is that in this moment when you say no, I actually start recognizing which people truly respect me and want to be in my life for the person that I am, and which people are only here just to kind of use my energy, use my support, but not actually investing in this relationship. So it was just one side relationship. you give the example with the money. But it could be with everything, it's like, okay, the one is always supporting and investing and the other one, no. So what it created in my system was, oh my God, it's kind of, confirm my fear that the people won't like me, that I'm going to lose them, till the moment came to realize, to make this realization that I just shared, that actually these people wasn't the right one to be in my environment. In the beginning, it was kind of confirmation. I don't say that everybody need to make this experience, but in my case, I really put very strong no boundaries, so to say. So I actually really lost a lot of people and I didn't feel good. Or I felt like, no, and then I had the feeling I need to explain myself why. In some cases, of course, is good, but there is one quote that I heard. No is a full sentence.
I love that.
No is a full, complete sentence. No need explanation. I'm telling you, people pleaser used to be.
How did you overcome it? Now I'm curious. How did you overcome it? Because you went through those cycles. I think everybody wants to know, how did you overcome it? Because it was
Okay, so like I said at the beginning, I felt kind of frustrated. I felt kind of not good that I lose a lot of the people I had in my life. So at the beginning, I look at the negative side of the experience, like we say. But because I started tapping into the personal development, I was watching like our podcast, this kind of podcast, reading books, where then I find out that more and more people, or really the successful people in life that create not only successful life, but also fulfilled life, everybody share that the moment you start saying no or setting boundaries, you first what first happens in the life is like that your environment change, not completely, but in the most of the cases. And then they share their experience that after that, because they make so much space in their environment, because so many people left their space, so to say, they were able to create more meaningful and really strong relationships. So actually, as you guys are listening to this episode, the same I was like listening to podcasts or watching, reading a book, actually through their experience, it helped me to see more the positive side and to open myself to focus on myself, who I want to be. Okay. So what are my values? What are my boundaries? How I want to be in a relationships? Because I never had before never lost a thought around, okay, who do I want to be in a relationship? And I'm not talking about like a romantic relationship. That includes also, but I'm talking about any kind of relationship, business relationship, friendship, whatever. So, and when I realize, okay, the most of successful people went through this phase, when I realized, okay, they found a way out, kind of had more space for people that were more nurturing to them, so to say, or more on a, giving and taking, so balanced way. And then, of course, when I focus on building my own character and building my own identity that I'd like to embody, these people started coming in my life. And I started experiencing what is this to have such a beautiful relationship like ours. I give you this example again, that when one of us something happen and we don't have the capacity, for example, to record the next podcast, or one of us each need the other one, that we're there.
Mm-hmm.
Or we understand it and we find a solution around. Even if it means, guys, to cut the episode during the night so you have it on Wednesday morning, you know? So, but it's way more important to recognize our own needs in this moment and to really give the one each other the space, and also the space to say no.
That's
so
correct.
to say.
Yeah, I agree.
And then as often as you use it, as better you feel, because then you trust your own inner voice or feeling, but not the chatty voice. I'm not talking about the quatchy, so like the chatty one. I'm talking about the true like voice that take care of us. And it's create really meaningful relationships.
That's right. Beautifully said. Yeah. Thank you for giving me those examples, and also inspiration for others, I hope, of how the power of no, and regardless of where you are, how it could be something beautifully and transformative, and actually open your eyes to see who's around you. So,
and it's all fine. You know, it's like, I'm grateful for all the people that were in my life because I had my learnings out of it. And yet, I learned if somebody cannot respect your no, then this person, I don't want to be a part of my life, because every time when I say yes to somebody else, I say no to myself. Every single time, people, beloved audience, when we say yes to somebody else or something else, we say, in the most of the cases, no to ourselves. And this need to be in balance. Because when we say too much yes to the outside world, and that is now also the FOMO kind of like coming inside, when we say too much yes to the outside world, in moments when it's not resonate 100% with us. So it's not something that we are willing, but it's something that somebody asks us from outside. Doesn't matter whether it's attending the event, whether it's helping a friend, whether it's taking more work, whether it's buying the next bag that maybe gonna make a hole in your finances, you know, doesn't matter. When we say yes to the outside world and it doesn't resonate 100% with us, just be aware you say no to yourself. And then it's our own responsibility to learn to keep this in balance. We should say more yes to us and more no to the outer world.
yeah, that's true. I mean, if you keep saying yes to things that you don't resonate with, you're actually no longer fearing that you're missing out. You're actually missing out on your own experiences. You're missing out on who you really, or how you want to actually behave and live life. So it's no longer a fear, it's a reality. So that's even stronger than fear of missing out. You're actually missing out on your own personal experience of growth.
Definitely. Definitely. And not only, in my experience, when I was acting out of FOMO, I actually missed the right opportunity and the right people. And I can tell you why. In 2022, I cannot remember from where this belief came in my mind or how I created it, but I started just to using the following sentence. I'm always at the right time, at the right place. So in 2022, I got invited in 2022 to so many events across the globe. So that means, of course, a lot of traveling, a lot of, time investment, money investment, and so on. And also I was invited to, or I was requested, hey, are you joining this event or not? And I started living by this premise to say, if I need to be there, I will be there. And if I don't need to be there, I won't be there. So that was the second belief that I started imprinting in my subconscious mind, because for myself, it resonated with me. And I can tell you, at every event that I wanted to be, I got personally invited without the need to buy the ticket. Or I bought a ticket like in the last second for a ridiculous lower price. And during the whole events, I act with the same attitude. I'm at the right time with the right people, or who I need to meet, I'm going to meet. And that is how around this event, I met the right people that created a huge opportunities in different directions. And as often as I repeated this belief, and then I experience, of course, then the kind of the proof out of this, as more I understood, I don't need to be afraid that I'm gonna miss on something, because that what is supposed to be mine, or if we talk about you as an audience, what is supposed to be yours, nobody else can take away. If it's meant to be yours, it will find a way to you in the most easiest, not fear-based, inspired way.
100% aligned. Complete alignment. I love it.
And maybe I can share you one kind of negative, not negative, but like when I actually acted on FOMO. And especially that is, in my experience, very dangerous, so to say, if we act on FOMO in our business. I had a customer 1.5 years ago, and this person get introduced to me through a very good friend of mine that I really trust. And it's get recommended. So I say, okay, when it's recommended through this person, it means that the quality of the work and commitment and so on must be high, because I know the value system of the person who introduced me to this person. And I engage in this project. And at the beginning it was completely inspiring, but on some point, we started talking more about money. If we do it this way, then this money, this money. And you know, I'll be completely honest and vulnerable with you. At this moment, as I needed to drop my previous business, I actually needed this money pretty much. So instead of listening to my inner voice, when small signs started coming up that maybe the work, the cooperation with this person is not the best for myself, for me. And it may be the cooperation with this person can harm me or my network that I'm engaging with this business, then serve it. I kind of ignore it, because the FOMO about, hey, making quick money, making good money, and the idea itself was amazing. It wasn't the idea or the product itself, or the whole environment around the whole services that this person provided, but it was the connection between me and this person that started creating a kind of not very good feeling. But I ignore it, because I focused on, based on the FOMO, on the opportunity what is there. Long story short, I keep working for this with not working sorry. Long story short, I keep engaging with this person till a moment came when my body like really shows me very, very direct. That is not the right way to do it. It's not the right person to engage with, even if the service and the project just has a huge potential and is very good. And that was the moment where I say no. It was painful. I actually he still owes me money. Our conversation didn't end it very good, or our like interaction didn't end it very good. But I had a huge learnings out of this situation. To say never, ever, ever will I engage in a project where I don't agree or engage to 100% with the person who stays behind the project. So if I feel, even if we're talking about millions, if I feel that the person doesn't resonate with me, that the energy of the person is not aligned, and of course then the product or service is not good, no matter of what amount of money we're talking, I'm not engaging anymore. And this now opens door for me to engage with really amazing people that brings me huge opportunities where we can work on an eye-to-eye level. And also I feel a good resonance. So sometimes saying no to something that actually looks so good, but our gut gives us kind of not good feeling, opens the door for way bigger and better opportunities, in my experience.
Yeah. I would basically have similar experiences at business, cutting deals with different companies as well in the negotiation practices. So yeah, 100%. 100%. That's so true. Very true. So the way you prioritize it is really the individual, the connection, the person you're going to be dealing with energetically, commercially, intellectually. That has to resonate before the
And the
product or
values,
service. And the values, of course, the values. So,
exactly. And then of course come product and services. But if you, the potential of the business, like, and that is what FOMO creates, is like, oh, jump here in this opportunity, or engage here. But we are dealing with people. And if we don't resonate 100% with these people, no matter how good this project, it most probably will not end it in a good way.
That's actually, I learned a lot right now, to be honest with you, because I didn't understand or didn't see the feminine aspect of it and what a woman goes through it at different levels, whether it's personal, business. And so as you were talking, I was trying to grab and absorb certain things I remember and I understood, obviously, but it was a beautiful reminder that we're different. I don't go through those cycles of, I guess I don't have that many fears, especially at work, of that, or what it means or how they reflected on me. It doesn't really matter to that degree. And I'm wondering how many males feel the same way. But to hear it from your perspective and also how it applies to the business deals that you were dealing with. And I had the same experience, but it's from a different angle. So I thought that was very refreshing. Let me just say that.
And what was your angle? So like maybe for the
Sure, absolutely. So my angle is very black and white. So meaning when we're structured to have business dealings, we're more focused on, okay, what's the successful outcome mean? Bottom line focus versus looking at people focus. You started with the people focus, the values, the integrities. I mean, we know that inherently, that's what we're striving for. But for us is really, okay, what's the goal? What's the end game? And then, okay, we start putting, okay, what are the caveats? Is this person a good person? How do we negotiate this type of personality? All that stuff. But it's really, we start at the end game. We start with just the results. but you're starting at the front. At the person is really important. The person that we're dealing with is super critically important, and then the end game will be the product and the service. It's just a little different because I guess from the advertising world, where most of my experience comes from, we already have the clients. It's not something that we could choose. As an entrepreneur, it's very different because you're choosing. You have the ability to choose. You're picking them because it's your company. You're the one in control of your company.
Mm.
So from a corporate side, is something is just given to you. So we don't think about the match, right? We're thinking about adapting versus choosing. You spoke about choosing. We are bred to adapt to what the client is looking for. So it's a different perspective.
But in this particular example that I gave, actually, I actually engage with the project first, not with the person. So after this experience, I started shifting the perception.
That's what I mean.
In my previous business, where I was dealing a lot with like large team, there I choose very specifically who do I want to work here with. But here, because the FOMO kicked in, it's like, okay, as I needed to drop my previous business and I was like kind of needing this financial success, so to say, or this financial outcome, I first focus on the project and the outcome. And that's why I was like running for it like nothing else, more in the masculine energy, like you explain it. But when I start getting more and more this feeling of something is off with my cooperation partner, I had to make a decision. Am I still going to bring this to the end? And this might cause my resume to get destroyed. This might cause that, that at the end, the project won't be delivered at the quality that I set expectation. And for me, that is a no-go, because when I sell something or I represent something, for me, it's important that this is exactly or even like above delivered. And that was where I just start feeling that it doesn't match anymore. So I needed to make a very quick decision, and completely all the conversation that I had to fulfill this commitment and this project, I just stopped them. And I say, I don't stay anymore behind this project. Sorry. Without giving them exact details, just like, okay. Yeah.
But the important thing for me, as I was listening to you, is the evolution of that. So you started, yes, with the standard what you're used to from the corporate side, because that's really exactly what I explained, is you go through the product, the service, the end game. That's the end game. And then who you're dealing with is secondary, because you just have to adapt. But now, because of your experience, you flip that around, and now you start with the individual first, the values. Make sure that's a good fit, because ultimately it will lead to really great products and services, because you're going to be more passionate and a better, obviously, cooperation between two people. So yeah, it's good for people to hear that evolution, which is beautiful. Fantastic.
And I also heard there is one, I forgot his name, the preacher, the priestess preacher, Thomas, I forgot his name. It's an amazing guy, really inspiring in the personal development. And he gave an amazing example. He used to be paid for one certain amount for speaking, like giving like 45 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, whatever workshop. And let me say, I don't remember on the top of my mind what was the price, but let me say 50,000. Okay. So, but he actually wanted to have more time to work also with children who are in prisons, to teach them, to young adults, not children, but young adults to give them more value so they can really go out and build their life from the scratch. So his mentor told him, okay, the value that you're delivering, you can actually charge 150 for the same time. And when you charge 150,000, then you can have less paid engagement for the same amount that you are earning now. And then you have more time to just give your time, your energy in this young adult. And he actually thought, how can he raise his prices? But then he made a decision, and when he get requested for a 50K, and he say no. And he was pretty scared. Then he get requested again for 50K, and he say no, because he said, my price is 150. And after I think 2 or 3 times he declined, he actually get his first 150K. Sometimes by saying no to something that it's good, it's not like that it's bad, but if it's not resonate anymore with us, we set the clear intention, our value shift. So we open that this opportunity come in our life. So when we stop acting on FOMO based on what society is telling us that we need in order to have successful life, fulfilled life, or to be accepted in the society, and instead when we start checking with our true self, what truly resonates with us, to which event I truly want to go, with which people do I truly want to engage, what kind of conversation do I truly want to have, and how much time I need to take for myself to recharge, to be with myself. It just opens, like with the magic wands, more and more opportunity that will resonate with this no, or with the boundaries you set behind the no.
Great. It's a great way to wrap this up, because that's amazing. I don't know how much further we could take it from there.
Oh, we can expand on a lot of experiences, but I'd like to invite our you as listener or watching us on YouTube, maybe to reflect on situation in your life where you wish maybe to reflect on situation where you didn't say no, but you wish you have said it. And to see what is the worst thing that could have happened if you have said no. And then just integrate this feeling that you are willing to accept this worst situation. Doesn't mean that it will happen, but willing to accept it. And then see what could be other scenarios that could have happened when you have said no. That is the first task. And the second one is, we'd like to invite you, because we don't want to force anybody if you're not ready, but just an invitation. When you go throughout your day or throughout the next week, look at situation that create FOMO within you. So it doesn't come from the excitement, I want to be really there, but like more about this kind of scarcity. Oh, if I don't go there, I miss this, or if I say no to this work, I'll don't get the promotion, whatever. What kind of it, And just observe this. And if you feel strong enough, say no. Say no. And just practice it. Say no to small things like, hey, do you have time to have a conversation? And then you know that the person who will want to have a conversation with you will engage on topics that you actually don't have the energy or the capacity to talk about. because it's maybe nothing that is so inspiring, but more about like drawing your energy, just say no. Say sorry without explanation. Sorry, I cannot at this moment. No. That's it. You don't need to start with the, rocket or with the biggest challenges where it's when you say no, it's like, oh my God, my boss will get angry, whatever. You can start with small things, but please, if you're a man and your wife tells you to bring the garbage out, that is something I will think about twice whether I'm going to say no. Just a very subtle, advice. This can create a huge talking.
Yeah.
Pedro knows.
Yeah.
If you know it, you know it. With all this said, just experience a little, experiment a little with the no. Observe where the fear of missing out is coming and see if you really lose so much if you don't do it.
Yeah, fall in love with the power of your no. So,
and maybe also sometimes we tend to create fear of missing out towards our environment. Maybe observe whether you sometimes is creating this. I used to do it. When I was at some event or I had something, not consciously, but subconsciously, I used to create like a fear of missing out towards other people that I was interacting with. Also not good. That's why we're inviting you. We don't want to force you. We don't want to say, if you don't do it, this and this bad thing will happen. We're just talking from our own experience and inviting you to make your own experience also. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks for watching. Click on one of the videos below and don't forget to like and subscribe.